strengthening child protection systems, increasing budgetary allocation, ensuring timely disbursement, especially social justice, child welfare, and security services. To our families and communities, we are counting on you to stand to the appropriate authorities. Children are precious and can close the gap to prevent, mitigate, and respond to all forms of violence against children and attain the Sustainable Development Goals of the target of 16.2 on end abuse, exploitation, trafficking, and all forms of violence and torture against children in Nigeria. With the leadership of the Honorable Minister and the leadership at the highest level, I'm sure this will be a reality. We can, and I wish you all a fruitful deliberation. Thank you.
And we all say, yes, we. I did not hear that. Are there children in the hall? If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. Thank you. Now I know there are children in the hall. We have with us this morning online Dr. Nasat Madla, the UN Special Representative of the Secretary General SWAT, representing the European Union, and Dr. Howard Taylor, Executive Director of Global Partnership to End Violence Against Children. Also with us in the hall is the UN Women, Country Representative to Nigeria and the ECOWAS, Ms. Comfort Lamte. Your Excellency, you're welcome. The Director General of the Legal Aid Council of Nigeria, Aliyu Bagudu Abubakar Esquire, is here represented by Madam Jane Frances Bianei Esquire. Also represented in the hall is the Director General, National Orientation Agency, Dr. Garba Abari, who is represented by the Deputy Director of Target Group. We also have with us Honorable Nasir Isa Kwara, Executive Chairman, National Population Commission, who is ably represented by the Director of Population Management Department, Mrs. Margaret Edison. This is still the National Policy Dialogue on Ending Violence Against Children in Nigeria. Coming on next is the Right Honorable Maysara Abbas, the Speaker of the National Children's Parliament. This is the Speaker of the 6th National Children's Parliament. Please let's appreciate him as he takes the place.
The Deputy Speaker of the National Children's Parliament, Right Honorable Rachel Benjamin, Honorable Members of the House, Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Kemp Pauline Talon, OFR, KSG, UNICEF representative, development partners, stakeholders, everyone who is here present, and the people join us online. Dear children, it is my indeed honor and privilege to be here with you today in this august occasion. And it's my honor as a leader of Nigerian children to say thank you to our commitment, services, and sacrifices that is gathered and put in place to promote and enhance the life of the Nigerian children. As we all know, yesterday we celebrated the Day of the African Child, which is the 16th of June 2021. and deliberation and discussion were made possible to hear from each and every child across the state, both in metropolitan and rural communities, to see and discuss a way that we will come to speak to government to what we think best the government can do to continue promoting our rights. We discuss and make deliberation based on two topics. The first topic is securing the future of the African child, the way forward. The second is promoting a better future of an African child through quality education. I will first of all start with the first topic, what the Nigerian children has delivered yesterday, the conclusion, and they have given me to come here to present it to you. First, the Nigerian children demand an immediate response of the hilarious problems happening by the insecurities in the country. We all know what is happening now in the country due to the insecurity. Children are not safe at school, are not safe at home, and are not safe in their communities. We are appealing to government to promote and to bring about intervention and provision that will immediate the children and make their school, homes, and community safer for them. Second, the Nigerian children are very concerned about the increased number of children in the streets, that is hawking and out of school children. The resolution here is the government should provide a necessary measures to curb the violence, because we can see each and every conclusion that are delivered and made are as follows. But before I mentioned, let me start by introducing what is quality education. A quality education is a key to unlocking and building a comprehensive backbone of every life. Through education, children can develop new personalities, attitude, reform, and save their future career. It is only through education that a better future is guaranteed for every child. Quality education can be provided through adequate learning and sound environment. So when we want to provide a quality education, we need the environment where we children will study to be safe from war and conflict. And we all know that when these recent things are happening mostly in Maiduguri and northwest of Nigeria, children are not able to go to school because they are in a war zone. And this has given us a very, very setback to the education system of children in Nigeria. And we are very concerned about that. Secondly, and qualitative education can be provided through providing adequate and qualitative teaching professionals. We're talking about teachers and the people that are going to take care of the education of children. Third, quality education can be achieved through its core, providing the necessary equipment and facilities. That's down from blackboards, computers that the children are going to study with them. Last but not the least, I'm very concerned on behalf of the children about the children with disabilities. Their education is at stake. We all know that. Because the schools are very expensive to afford, and the government schools that is providing are very few, which 70% of children with disability are not going to school. We all knew that. Because there is no schools. So we are, on behalf of the children, appealing to government to provide and build more schools and provide the necessary equipment for children with disability to learn like any other child in the country. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this is what the children gathered yesterday and get me to present over to you. But before I leave, I have a heart-feeling message to deliver. It was like a year ago when I am coming to my hometown, Dambata, from Kano, from the airport. And when I'm looking through the door, I have seen these almajiris. There are more than 200 of them. And they are lining to, there is a man over there who is giving them food, and they line all of them. And I see it's not even fair. I look at the hotel, I stay, and the clothes I'm wearing, and the food I ate. These children deserve your attention. There are any other kids like the kids you have in your home, right in the children that you give birth to. They don't have any different. They are the same. We are all the same. We just happens to be having an opportunity at that right moment that they didn't have. So it's not only government that can do something. We all need to do something, to act now, to protect their future. Thank you very much.
Please can we appreciate this young man? He has a heart of gold. He's feeling what the children are feeling. Right Honorable. That was a moving speech, and we're all moved to tears. Children feel, and they are very close to the grassroots. So we need to feel what they feel. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, because you're still there. You have not left your background. We have also representing the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, who is here represented by Mrs. Clementina Anyakora, Director, FCT NAFDAC. Also in the hall is Apostle Innocent Akomas, representing Her Excellency, the wife of the Abia State Governor, Her Excellency Mrs. Nkechi Ikpeazos. Grace Oshofo During is representing the Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, Most Reverend Dr. Ignatius Kaigama. His Royal Majesty, Oba Barrister Akinola Oyetade Akinrera Latinri I, the Olubori of Ife-Tedo Kingdom, is representing the Oni of Ife. You're welcome. We're moving on into the program, and we'll be taking some voices from online. First on our list, on the online media. Can you project those who are online so that we see them? we're taking the UN Special Representative of the Secretary General on Violence Against Children, Dr. Najat Mala Majid. Dr. Majid was appointed as Special Representative of the Secretary General on Violence Against Children on May 30th, 2019. As a high-level global independent advocate, Najat Mala Majid promotes the prevention and elimination of all forms of violence against children in all settings, including online and offline, the justice setting, in the home, in schools, in institutional care, in detention centers, in the workplace, and in the community. She acts as a bridge builder in all regions and across sectors and settings where violence against children may occur. Dr. Majid is a medical doctor in pediatrics. She has, over the last 3 decades, devoted her life to the promotion and protection of children's rights. Your Excellencies, distinguished will message.
Distinguished participants, due to difficult to deliver the speech after the speech on ending violence against children. I would like to start by thanking His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for hosting this crucial national policy dialogue, and Her Excellency Mrs. Jane Odin-Talent, Minister of Women Affairs, for inviting me to join this multi-stakeholder discussion. As you highlighted, my role as Special Representative of the Secretary General is to act as a global independent advocate for the elimination of all forms of violence against children. And in my role, I seek to support governments to implement the recommendation of the UN Study on Violence Against Children and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Dear participants, I am influenced by the commitment of the government of Nigeria to ending violence against children and to the global agenda and its vision of a world where children grow up free from violence and where their rights are fully realized. The government's commitment to this issue was demonstrated when it became the pathfinder country of the Global Partnership in 2017. I look today to hearing from all of you, representatives of the government of Nigeria, as well as your key partners, including children who are here today, about the progress made in implementing and responding to violence against children, and to identify the actions required to sustain and scale up key violence against children covers the spectrum of abuse, neglect, and exploitation, and happens in the home, school, institutions, street, community, and online. Often children sadly experience a continuum of violence. We must move out of our silos, addressing all forms of violence against children. Our vision and our actions must be bold. It is thus essential that enforcement of law, development of policy
Nigeria is truly a country with a high population of young. Her Excellency, the country representative to ECOWAS in Nigeria, UN Women, Ms. Comfort Lamte, to give us a 2-minute goodwill message.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Women's Affairs, Dame Pauline Talon, all other excellencies here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the children of Nigeria, the strong, resilient, and amazing children of Nigeria, on whose shoulders the future of this country rests. Let me wish you all a very good afternoon on behalf of UN Women. I'm very honored to join you all at this event to say a few words. Let me appreciate at the outset the Federal Ministry of Women's Affairs, UNICEF, WHO, and other critical stakeholders who have worked to organize this national policy dialogue. We know that Nigeria has achieved a pathfinder status among countries for the elimination of violence against children due to the government in launching the Year of Action to End Violence Against Children in 2015, and further launch. On the strength of this, I'm optimistic that the earnest efforts will be put in by all stakeholders to showcase affordable, evidence-based solutions and to elevate efforts to address violence against children in terms of the COVID-19 and post-pandemic planning, budgeting, as well as the funding of commitments to close the gap that is needed to deliver on SDG 16 by 2030. In 2016, the African Committee on Experts on the Welfare of the Child established under Articles 32 and 33 of the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child, the adopted Agenda 2040, which is seeking to foster an Africa fit for children. It's a 25-year agenda for the long-term and strategic progress in implementing child rights in Africa. Agenda 2040 provides a child-centered focus based on the African Union's Agenda 2063, which highlights children's rights and welfare concerns in 10 articulations. Excellencies, all relevant stakeholders must spare no effort to accelerate the implementation of Agenda 2040 for children in Africa, and the time for this is now. For our part as UN Women, and in line with our mandate to promote the rights of women and girls, we have been supporting advocacy and interventions for the elimination of violence against the girl child. And under the EU-UN Spotlight Initiative, we have been supporting efforts to uplift the girl child in Nigeria. In line with our mandate also, and in collaboration with the Ministry of Women's Affairs, we did a 25-year review of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action last year. As many of you know, one of the critical areas of concern adopted in Beijing was on the girl child. And whilst we have seen some progress, and whilst Nigeria has recorded some progress in addressing the rights of the girl child, particularly in the area of education, we know that there is still a long way to go, and the COVID-19 pandemic has also sadly brought about some setbacks in terms of the rights of the girl child. We have seen last year the high incidences of increase in violence against children, particularly girls, many who were subjected to other forms of sexual and domestic violence. And we have also seen an alarming rise in the numbers of teenage pregnancies, not just in Nigeria, but across the region. And so from our side, we remain committed to work with the Ministry of Women's Affairs, I want to acknowledge the efforts of the commendable efforts of the Honorable Minister of Women's Affairs in this regard, and pledge our commitment to support all these efforts as we go forward. On this note, let me wish us all a fruitful deliberation and a very successful event. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. At this time, we're going online again. We have a goodwill message by Dr. Howard Taylor, the Executive Director of the Global Partnership to End Violence Against Children. While we're trying to spotlight him, we have in this hall Mrs. Bola Tinubu, founder, Cheche Ara Foundation, Mrs. Joy Onoja, Assistant Director from the Federal Ministry of Education, representing the Honorable Minister of State, Honorable Chukwuemeka Wajuba. We also have Senator Bashir Garba, the Director General of National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Person, NAPTIP, who is represented by Kehinde Komolafe, Director of Counseling and Rehabilitation. We also have, representing the Honorable, we have so many other young people from the FCT and from the National. If anyone is representing those on the panel, please let them so indicate to those at the reception. Dr. Howard, please.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, children and young people, it is a privilege to be part of today's National Policy Dialogue on Ending Violence Against Children. It's great to see so many senior government representatives and high-level champions of change come together to assess progress with reactions and next steps in Nigeria, to call for greater urgency to protect children from violence. violence against children in Nigeria and to sharing lessons learned from Nigeria's journey in order to encourage and inspire all mothers to do the same and to make sure that every child grows up safe. Thank you again for this opportunity to be part of today's event and very best wishes for your productive and action-focused discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Howard Taylor, Executive Director of the Global Partnership to End Violence Against Children. We're moving on into the highlight of the occasion, and at this time, we'll be moving to take the first panel session. And this panel session is on the nature and impact of violence against children. The session will highlight the magnitude of the problem, explore causative factors that predispose children to violence, and the impact of violence on the health, education, socio-economic development, and well-being of children. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated the situation, while recent abduction in educational institutions highlights the risk children face, even in ordinary safe places. To also look at the physical, emotional, and psychosocial impact of violence against children, including its future impact, how vulnerable children are more at risk of violence. And to chair this session this morning or this afternoon, we have Mrs. Mariam Uwais, Senior Special Advisor to the President on Social Investments and former member of the African Committee of Experts on the Rights and Welfare of the Child. Please can we appreciate her as she takes her place? Joining her in this session is Senator Bashir Garba Mohammed, the Director General, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, who is ably represented in the hall today. Please can you please. Also, we have representing the Honorable Minister of State for Education, Honorable Chukwuemeka Wajuba. Please can all the representatives take their place? For the records, Senator Bashir Garba Mohammed, DG National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, is represented by Kehinde Komolafe, Director of Counseling and Rehabilitation. Please let's appreciate her as she takes her place. And representing the Honorable Minister of State for Education is Mrs. Joy Onoja, Assistant Director of the Federal Ministry of Education. Is she here in the hall? So we have 15 minutes for this panel session, and we will hand over at this juncture to Honorable Mrs. Mariam Uwais to take us through this first panel session. My name is Princess Juma Idonije, Special Assistant Technical to the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs. Thank you. Hello, please move to the other side so we can have one space in between. Thank you. No, you stay here. Stay back. Oh, sure. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, distinguished royal fathers here present, let me stand on earlier established protocols. My name is Dr. Godwin Godo. I'm a child protection specialist at UNICEF Country Office in Abuja here in Nigeria. As you can see, I was not